Good evening. Happy Thursday. Happy September. Happy first Thursday. After this wonderful episode of Make It Alexandria, I hope that you'll find some time to stroll downtown for some awesome first Thursday activities. So, on tonight's episode of Make It Alexandria with Alyssa Kovach of Alexandria Makers Market, she is welcoming Karen of PawsGo. So we'll get to meet Karen, learn all about her business, which is dedicated to promoting women's best friend and active lifestyles for women and their dogs, which you might have just heard in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on Alyssa.
Thanks, Grace. Hi, guys. Happy Thursday. I am so excited to welcome my friend Karen and some of her pups, Poppy and Boomer as well. You might have a little cameo. And guys, Karen is just one of the best. You've probably seen her around town. She is the founder of PawsGo, as Grace mentioned. It's you've probably seen her at a pop-up. She's selling T-shirts. There's a really cool mission behind that side of her company, but the larger mission is what I really want you to know about, and we're going to dive deeper into that. So, Karen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, we might have a little appearance by Boomer and Poppy. I live in Delray, as you know, and tonight is First Thursday. So there are plenty of people out walking their dogs. So Poppy wants to make sure that everybody knows that she's around. So we might hear a little bit of barking from, especially from her this evening.
No, that's great. I definitely want to make sure that she feels seen, you know?
Well, she's got a lot to say.
Karen, if somebody isn't familiar with you, maybe hasn't seen you around the neighborhood or is not familiar with PawsGo, would you give our viewers just a little bit of background about you and maybe how PawsGo got started?
Sure. Well, I am a lobbyist by day. I work primarily on education and not-for-profit issues. And nights and weekends, I have PawsGo. And PawsGo started out, I wanted to create an online community for people and their dogs. And it has evolved over the years. But I came up with the idea where I come up with most of my ideas when I'm out running or walking with my dog. And this was Boomer. Boomer and I were out in the neighborhood, and I was reflecting on how many great friends that I've made because of having a dog. I mean, you know this. You can't walk down the street without saying hi to the dog or hi to your neighbor or stopping and talking about the dog, or if you don't have your dog with you, petting the dog that somebody else has. So dogs are such a great way to build community and to build our social networks. At the same time, I still have this client, but I've got a fairly high profile health and wellness client that works in schools. And I remember having a meeting with them, and this was at the time when everybody was talking about the importance of getting 10,000 steps. Remember when that sounded like a big deal and not everybody had a Fitbit, but you were supposed to get, or an Apple Watch, you're supposed to get your 10,000 steps and for optimum health, because we as a society were growing, less and less active. So there was this big push to do your 10,000 steps. And I remember being in that meeting and thinking, I get 10,000 steps before the sun comes up. I mean, I have dogs. So I wanted to put together the idea of community and wellness around dogs. And a lot of the early blog posts that I did and a lot of the messaging on the PawsGo website reflect on health, not only for humans, but also for our canine companions.
Well, at what point then did you really start to feel like you were growing traction? Because you do have quite a large following on social media, and I think it has a much broader reach than just here within our city boundaries.
Well, it does. And thank you for recognizing that. It's funny. A friend of ours is staying with us this weekend. And she said, do you remember when you had 100 followers on Facebook and thought that that was so exciting? Yeah, now it's up to like 17,000.
Yeah.
And I'm less active on Twitter, but I got a good following there. And then Instagram really, I think, is the most engaged platform. But yeah, it has evolved. And while there's still that message of community and that message of, um, just the health benefits of a dog, I mean, they're definitely, I've taken lots of twists and turns. For instance, you and I know each other because we're pop-up pals, right? And you mentioned at the beginning of our conversation that I pop up a lot around Delray and Alexandria and a lot of rescue events. But, never in a million years did I think I'd be a pop-up t-shirt vendor. And that came because of my love of community. It was several years ago, and we were trying to raise money for lights in the Simpson Dog Park. So I created the My Dog Digs Delray t-shirt, and we raised $3,000 from those shirts towards the lights in the Simpson Dog Park. And I really enjoyed it. So from there, I just started working with local artists to create other items. So I've got wine bags and coasters and a whole line of hoodies and t-shirts. And I think I've got market bags because we should not be using plastic. Get rid of your plastic bags and use a PawsGo market bag. This is the one that is in the Alexandria Visitor Center, which I'm very proud of. And for this year's Art on the Avenue, where I'll be popping up, I'll have this fun bag with 22301 and 22305 on it. So I'm expanding my zip codes.
Well, and I'd love for you to dig a little deeper. And, I know you do a lot of good work. It wasn't just the lights at the dog park, you didn't stop there. Would you tell us a little bit more about some of the philanthropy that goes along with your t shirts?
Yeah, sure. I have a whole line of shirts. They're called the Want a Friend line. And on the front of these shirts, it says, want a friend, ? Get a dog. And then on the back, it has a specific message for a rescue or a specific breed. So Boomer and Poppy, who you heard at the beginning, are Australian Shepherds. And I've done an awful lot of work with Australian Shepherd Rescue. I've been a rep for Australian Shepherd Rescue. I've been a foster for Australian Shepherd Rescue. And that's really where this whole idea started. So I came up with an idea for a shirt that said, want a friend, get a dog. And on the back, it says, want a cool friend, get an Aussie. And there's a silhouette of an Australian Shepherd. So what I do with those shirts is I rotate them out through various Australian Shepherd rescue groups. And I purchase enough of these shirts to where I can sell them for $20. The rescue gets 10, and I can still cover my nut. And you know this. I mean, t-shirts are not cheap. No. Good t-shirts are not cheap. Yeah. So, right. So these are nice quality shirts, but the rescues get $10 and people get to promote a breed that they love. Well, I was asked by some friends with All Breed Rescues if I could do something for their organization. And I said, yes, of course, I'd be happy to. So that's where, if you want to put that up again, if we can put up the rescue shirt again, it's the red rescue shirt. So on the back of that shirt, it says, want to be a friend rescue. And on the front, of course, it says, want a friend, get a dog. And I rotate the rescues out every few months. So this shirt, since July, has been going to Mutt Love Rescue, and that is a local rescue. It's based in Fairfax County. A lot of folks in Delray volunteer for them. And $10 from this shirt until the end of October will go to Mutt Love Rescue. And I wanted to be able to support small and independent rescues and shelters with this whole line of Want a Friend shirts. So Mutt Love falls right into that category. They work with shelters to pull dogs that many people don't want to adopt. So they're old dogs, they're dogs that might be disabled, they're dogs with medical conditions, some difficult breeds. They pull a lot of beagles, a lot of senior dogs, which has a special place in my heart since the last rescue that we had was a little senior Australian Shepherd. So I am so happy to work with Mutt Love and to do a little bit of what I can to help support their efforts and support their rescue. So I'll have these shirts at Alexandria Love Your Pet Day, which is October 3rd, which happens to be the day after Art on the Avenue. So I'm thinking by October 4th, I'm going to have to call in sick.
That's definitely a very jam-packed weekend.
Right?
But Karen, I just have to say, especially because I do, from a very personal place, know what it's like to have to buy t-shirts in bulk to bring that price down for the public. And then the fact that you're able to contribute 50% is a really huge contribution. And then to work a pop-up, so much fun, but also a lot of work. So, this is really, the work that you're doing it's not just t-shirts because they're so cute, but this is really doing
so are yours.
A much bigger service. Oh, well, thank you. That's very kind.
Well, I've worked in rescue and I know how hard rescue is, and I know that they are on the margins, right? I mean, so 10 t-shirts, $100 for me is really meaningful to a lot of small and independent rescues. So, hey, I'm happy. The more shirts I can sell, for them, the more dogs and cats they can support. And I have I'll profile them on the website, on across social media. So hoping that as you pointed out, I've got a nice group of followers. So maybe raising some exposure for them in the meantime and getting some dogs and cats adopted.
So I love that it started as I'd like to build community. It's taken not a hard right. This obviously is a very natural transition into supporting these different organizations. And I love that you kind of have this umbrella that you get to explore some different ways to continue this community. One of the things that I'd love to bring up is your Pawdcast. Everybody make sure you get it? Pause. So Karen, tell us more about that, about how that got started.
Yeah, thanks for asking about that. And yeah, I mean, that's one of the nice things about having your own business, and you get to execute your vision. And I do think that it's more fun when things evolve. When I started this, I didn't think that I'd be doing pop-ups, but I am, and I love it. I thought I'd have a blog, which I do. And I thought I would promote on social media, which I do. But then, the natural progression of communication is really podcasts. And I listen to podcasts all the time. And I was flying for my real job, and I was listening to a podcast, and it hit me, why can't I have a podcast? I can have a podcast. I know lots of really interesting people. And this would give me just another platform to talk about things that I like to talk about and to promote good causes. So my friend Jean, who also lives in Delray and also has Australian Shepherds, is also a independent business owner. And she and I she does communications and I do lobbying. So our lives are very, very similar and our interests are very similar, but she and I co-host the PawsGo podcast, and it is a positive conversation about people and their dogs. And we have had so much fun with it. It's hard work. It takes a lot of time. Not, scheduling, and then we've got a great producer that edits everything for us. But listen, we went to the Westminster Dog Show. I got us press passes. Yes. In 2020, right before the world shut down, we went to New York for the Westminster Dog Show, and I have my Westminster press pass. It was great.
So fun.
And then we had the communications director for the Westminster Dog Show on. It's one of my favorite episodes. She's great. And what a great job she has, that she is a communications director and one of the spokespeople. When you watch the Westminster Dog Show, you'll see Gail there, providing commentary. Jean and I wanted to do a podcast for President's Day, and I'm a member of Mount Vernon, which I love, which is very, very dog friendly. You can take your dogs to Mount Vernon. They're allowed around all the grounds and also in the education center. So if you're looking for something fun to do with your dog, go to Mount Vernon. It's great. But we were looking to do a podcast around presidential pets, and through the magic of Facebook, I found the Presidential Pet Museum and contacted them and was connected with the historian of record for the Presidential Pet Museum, which until recently was bricks and mortar, and now it's really just virtual.
Oh, wow.
And Andrew Hager has become like this wonderful friend of ours. He's done the podcast twice. He knows everything about animals in the White House and the history behind them. And when Biden was elected president, because he had two dogs, so, we didn't have any animals in the White House during Trump. Most presidents have, the dogs on the Christmas cards and stuff. Jean and I both worked in the Bush administration, so we all remember Barney Cam. But someone from the Washington Post heard the PawsGo podcast and contacted Andrew and had him comment about the Biden's dogs, the White House. CBS Sunday Morning and the New York Times picked up on that article, and a publisher picked up on both, and Andrew has a book deal and actually interviewed me for his book.
Oh my goodness.
And isn't that cool? And he is so nice and so gracious, and he swears it's because of the podcast. Isn't that lovely?
That is so wild, like how
Isn't it?
twist and turn. But again, this is, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. That's so fun.
Well, and if anybody deserves all of the recognition, it's Andrew. He is so delightful. So you've really got to listen to this. I'll send you that one, the very first one that we did, and we talk about Rebecca the raccoon and some of the other interesting pets. Yeah. So a constituent from Mississippi, God, I can't remember who was it. Harding? I don't know. Now I'm showing how bad I am at history. But somebody from Mississippi brought a raccoon to this president to eat, and he said, "Yeah, thanks for the raccoon," and it became a family pet. I can't remember who it was, Harding or Hoover or Grover Cleveland. This is terrible that I can't remember. I got to go back and listen to my podcast, but I just remember that somebody wanted to give him some victuals in the form of a raccoon.
When you're president, I think you get to have a raccoon as a pet. I think you
right.
That's
well, the best
privileges.
Well, they would bring the raccoon out just like, the Obamas would bring Bo and Sonny out, right, when they were kids. So they
Yeah.
brought the raccoon to the Easter egg roll, and the raccoon like scratched up a bunch of people's legs. So the raccoon got banished.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that great?
It could have maybe been thought of ahead of time that maybe that wasn't the best idea, but I love it.
Right.
Karen, this is such a pet friendly and really dog centric city.
Yes, it
When you
is.
travel outside, even to Annapolis or Baltimore or further up to New York, it is not the same vibe. Even Washington, D.C., not the same vibe. What is it about Alexandria that makes this such a specifically dog friendly area?
That's a good question. I think we're so walkable.
Mm.
We've got a very walkable area, whether it's Delray or Old Town or, if you go into Warwick Village or Beverly Hills, we've got lots of areas to walk. Our friend Sandy Modell started the first dog park in all of Northern Virginia, which is the Simpson Dog Park. So we were way ahead of our time, and I think that was in the 90s. Um, I can remember a time when people in Delray didn't have kids, they had dogs.
Mm.
So maybe the dogs just stuck around, they didn't cycle out. But I also remember a million years ago, remember when DC had the pandas and Chicago had
Oh,
the
yeah.
cows? There was some talk about Alexandria having a dog because we were so dog
Oh,
friendly.
that would have been wonderful. I actually love that idea.
Yeah, isn't that a great idea? But
Yeah.
that the I don't even remember what the name of the hotel is now, but it used to be the Hotel Monaco. Is it the Alexandria Hotel?
Oh,
Even
sounds
when
fun.
that was the Holiday Inn, that always had the doggy happy hour in the courtyard. So, I can point to lots of reasons why we're dog friendly, but I'm not quite sure what the catalyst was. I'll tell you, I got my first dog because the Delray Farmers Market, when we started it, used to be dog friendly. And we were very, we wanted to make sure that it was a dog friendly market. And I watched all the dogs coming there. And that's when, I realized how much fun it would be to have a dog and to take it to farmers markets and to take it around.
I'm wondering, and I think what I love is, they can go into stores, they can go to the restaurants, and, they really can just kind of come with you even to work at times. Um, and I don't know if it's the city is that way because of the people or the people are that way because of the city. It's one of those just kind of relationships that have grown together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's a chicken or an egg thing, but I'll tell you
Right.
what, smart businesses are dog friendly. I love taking the dogs into the Crate and Barrel outlet. Kiskadee is dog friendly. Anthropology, my dogs know where the treats are at Anthropology. As a matter of fact, we have to go to the checkout before I can even shop because both of them remember where the treats are. I can't even walk past the Delray Cafe because their dog treats are like crack to my dogs. They will pull me down Howell Avenue. They love those things. And they both love it when we get to go to Lena's and get the doggy menu. You're smart if you cater to dogs.
I think around here you have to. Other cities, maybe not as much, but certainly where we live, which is a great thing. I'm a dog owner as well, so we love it. And actually, when we moved, we had three, and with age, we are now with down to one. But um, everything's just been so accessible as a pet owner for these
Yeah.
guys around here. Um, Karen, tell me a little bit more. So we've talked about a lot of different things that are happening for you, for PawsGo. What are some of the things that you hope to see coming out of the pandemic? Let's be positive and things are heading in the right direction. What are you hoping that this might continue to transition, or maybe more unexpected turns that might pop up for you?
Well, pop up. Yes, that's exactly right. More things to pop up. So I will be popping up if there's an event I can attend. I like doing them. I meet lovely people like you and the rest of our pop up friends. I talked a lot about the Want a Friend, Get a Dog t-shirts and the mission for the rescues and animal welfare organizations. But I just want to be clear, not everything goes to support rescue. I mean, some of the things go to support me so I can work to support rescues. I mean, there are things that I constantly try to come up with new ideas and new designs like you do. I'm not talented like you are, so I work with talented people, a lot of local artists to help me with my designs and things that are fun. So what I would love to see, I'd love to get my things in more retail outlets.
Mm-hmm.
I got a handful of them around here, which is great, and I appreciate the support. Head to Tail, Nature's Nibbles. The dog store carried some things at Christmas time. Mount Pernin has the cat coasters, which we've got things for pussycats, and we have some species neutral designs. Um, you know, Dog is Good. I'm sure everybody knows that brand. She started as a t-shirt vendor in San Diego, so that brand is huge. Why can't I start as one in Delray and build the brand?
Absolutely. I
So
think you have a much larger reach than probably the majority of the guests that are on this show. So I fully anticipate that that is what's going to happen for you next.
well, you're very, very kind. I like it. I'm having fun. I think that dogs just bring out the best in people. And, the people that like PawsGo products are really just fun, good dog people. And I'm always thrilled to meet them and work with them. So I'd like to see PawsGo continue to expand our reach on social media, keep doing podcasts, figure out what the next type of communication is going to be and grab onto that. I mean, this is really fun. I love doing this with you. I never thought I'd be doing this 5 years ago.
I know. Isn't this the best? I think Mary's watching, so
best.
thank you, Mary. We're having a good time. Um, Karen, if somebody is interested in getting a hold of you, maybe to support some of your missions that you're working with, or to check out the PawsGo product line, or to connect for the podcast, what are some of the ways that they can connect with you?
The website is pawsgo.com. And then I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'll be, as I mentioned, popping up at Art on the Avenue and Alexandria Love Your Pet Day. If anyone is with a rescue, I am more than happy to support you in any way, either through the sale of the shirt, or if you're having an event and need, a raffle gift or a door prize, or you're doing a gift basket, reach out. I will always support anyone that makes a request. If you're having an event and there's an opportunity for me to pop up there, I'll do it if I can. And if you're at a winery, I'll try even harder. or a craft brew, right?
Yeah, I absolutely connect with that. That's so funny. Karen, I really wanted to say thank you just for the work that you do in your day job, and also with PawsGo, because I think it does a lot of good work and builds a lot of great community, and just for being my friend, because I'm so glad that our worlds collide all the time.
Thank you for being my friend, and thank you for inviting me. And this has been great, great fun.
Oh, good. Oh, you're the best. And so thank you so much. I can't wait to run into you, in real life, not
Thank you.
behind
And
the screen.
everyone support Mutt Love until October 31st.
Yes, yes. You guys, Karen is the best. Please go and check out her website, get a hold of her on social media. And as we wrap up here, I am just going to give one more little plug for an event that is coming up for Alexandria Makers Market. You will find all sorts of vendors that are local right here to this city, which is so incredible. There's so much talent. It sometimes is hard to believe. But it is the autumn market at Port City Brewery. Grace, if you don't mind. There we go. Yeah, so Sunday, September 26th, 12 to 6. Our good friends at Port City, we're partnering with them again, and really excited to make that happen. This is my favorite time of year. And then please, please, please make plans for October 2nd to Art on the Ave as well, because that is just an incredible event and you can run into Karen there. So you guys, thank you for tuning in. I think most people are at First Thursday, probably with their dogs. And so I know that they're all going to watch the rerun once they get home after they've had their delicious dinner. And so thank you so much for tuning in. And I cannot wait to connect at some point at one of these future events. So you guys, as you're going about your weekend, please, please, please keep it local whenever possible. Lots of good ways, hopefully, that we're bringing you to support local. And as you are supporting local, please remember to be the good news in someone's life.